always had Donald Trump down as a straight-talking kind of guy, but now he's described Keir Starmer as very popular. I'm beginning to have my doubts. I'm Harriet Langley-Swindon, and this is Non-Censored. Hello and welcome to Non-Censored, the podcast that wraps up all the best bits from my very real daily radio show into one easy-to-digest highlights package. I'm joined as ever by my producer, Martin. And what a show we have for you this week, hey, Martin?
Oh, yes, indeed. We were joined by the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, to talk about his conference speech. Entertainment reporter Henny Ffairground joined us to talk about the most exciting new format in TV. And Eshaan Akbar explained the comedy world to us. But before we go any further, we should say thank you to Adam Hutchins, who signed up for our Patreon this week. You can join him in supporting the show by heading over to patreon.com/noncensored, where you'll get ad-free episodes and full videos of every segment.
That the technology.
Every segment that the technology holds up for. Yes, sometimes it doesn't work. We should also mention that we have a live show at the Cheerful Earful Festival on the 16th of October, which is 2 weeks or so away. We're at 7 p.m. at the Bedford in Balham, and tickets are available from cheerfulearful.co.uk.
Martin, Eshaan and I, and a special guest, will be taking your questions and explaining why you're wrong. Totally live! So head over to cheerfulearful.co.uk and get your tickets before they sell out. But on to this week's show, and as ever, there were so many items in the daily radio show that we didn't have time to play to you. For example, we had live coverage from the big podcast awards that happened on Thursday, but then we didn't win, so we're not playing you any of that.
I mean, we weren't nominated.
Did we enter?
Technically, no. But I still don't think we needed to smash the recording equipment up and burn it.
It's the only way they'll learn, Martin. So instead, we'll start with our interview with the Prime Minister himself, who joined us to discuss his speech at the Labour conference. Let's take a listen. Prime Minister, welcome back to Non-Censored. How are you?
Yeah, great, obviously, really good. Whatever, thanks for having me. Do I have to say that still? Even though I'm Prime Minister now?
Well, it
Shouldn't really have to be bothered with all this crap anymore.
It sounds like you're not great.
Sorry.
It sounds like you're having a bit of a hard time. This is not usually the sort of character we expect from you. Have you been listening to a lot of Oasis, or has the...
Yeah, of course I've been listening to Oasis. Have you not seen the headlines? They're back, Martin.
Yeah,
I know we're not talking anymore, but oh my God. How far behind are you?
Have you got tickets?
They're back. Of course I've got tickets.
Did you get those tickets? Of the tour. So actually, Prime Minister, I would like to ask how you got your tickets to
does
Oasis.
It matter? These things just appear now. I'm the Prime Minister, I'm the King. People give me things. I'm going to Oasis. I'm going to Coldplay. Do I have to apologise for it? Have you got me on here to say sorry? I'm living my life, okay? People are giving me a really hard time. I'm allowed to have some fun, for God's sake.
Okay.
I love Wonderwall.
Prime Minister, you're being rather petulant, I think.
What's the story morning story? Is that one?
It's Glory, I think. But, I mean, Sir Keir, you're not the king, are you?
No, sadly not. Wish I was. Maybe they'd cut me a bit of slack if I was the king.
Do you feel that the press has been unfair to you, Prime Minister?
Well, yeah. You know, I've barely been in power for 5 minutes, and now it's all, the economy's not doing very well. There's an atmosphere of despair. Like, what do they want me to do about the atmosphere of despair?
Well, you do keep talking about a lot of despair in your speeches.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk of how it's short-term pain for long-term gain.
Yeah, I'm on a waiting list for talking therapy. Like, I don't know what else I could do. But the NHS is f***ed. So I'm going to be on this waiting list for months, and then maybe when I get my talking therapy, then I'll be able to find a bit of joie de vivre again. You know, the light at the end of the tunnel that I've been talking about. But
Right.
honestly, this is really hard.
We at Noncensored, we would like to know what the light at the end of the tunnel is.
Oh, God, you don't want me to specify that now, do you? I thought that would
Yes.
kind of kick the can down the road a little bit.
Well,
I
you
thought
know,
that's
there's
a popular phrase. People know what it means.
sometimes, of course, the light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train. So we'd like to know if it's that, or if it's, you know, a land of, you know, what is it? A lovely. Are we in the Alpine Pass?
Well,
As Boris would sometimes talk about. Are we about to come out of the tunnel into a nice, fertile
Green,
upland?
pleasant
Yes.
land.
I mean, why's it all got to land on my lap, you know? If it's an oncoming train, what's stopping you from squeezing yourself against the side of the tunnel wall? Do you really need me to spell that out to you? To go, oh, and if there's a train coming, step out of the way. Like, think for yourselves, sheeple.
Do you know what? I have to say,
I'm trying to sort my life out here. I'm
You've
trying to
become
get
quite
myself
mean
back on
since
track.
you became Prime Minister.
No,
I have to say.
I think he's reacting, and there's a lot of pressure.
They've shown me the
Keir-
numbers, guys. They've shown me all the information about how much money there is and how it all works. And it's so stressful. It doesn't really work.
Okay. Well, maybe a change of tack. Maybe if we just would
it make you feel better if we at Noncensored, I think, well, producer Martin's in charge of this, but I think we could probably buy you a little jacket or something.
Oh, well, that's been the main thing that's been keeping me afloat the last few weeks, guys. Has been the jackets and the glasses and the tickets and all those lovely gifts. Like I say, it's been a really hard summer, and I know I used to come on this podcast and I'd only ever have positive, fun, sunny things to say, and really it has been the freebies and the handouts that have helped me keep in touch with that old version of me, because it's been hard going. So
Well, I think
a jacket would be lovely.
We could probably stretch something from H&M, couldn't we, producer Martin?
I don't know. I mean, it would
That's
come
not
out
really
of
the circles I move in anymore.
We've got some promotional goodies, I suppose. There's the pencil case.
I'll
we
take
could
the
get over
pencil
to
case.
you.
Producer Martin, your father died last year. Could you not use some of his old suits?
Oh yeah, I'll have them. What size was he? Keir
Well,
size?
I don't know if I should be handing out my deceased father's suits.
Oh come on!
I mean,
I'm the Prime
it's
Minister.
more sentimental than anything, although they are quite nice
Okay,
suits.
well, fine, producer Martin, but at some point we've got to sort of
We'll
sort
sort
out
it
what
out.
we can offer.
My
as
people will
Noncensored.
talk to your people.
Listen,
and we'll
I
get a
think
deal going.
there's. Can we just get back to the conference? Okay. Now, the thing that everyone, we would be remiss not to talk about is, of course, the Israeli sausages.
Sausages. We
Oh
do
my
want to talk
god!
about the sausages.
Oh my god! Yeah, great. Here we go. Kick a man when he's down. I
Well,
was just
no.
starting to feel good again when you said you were going to give me your dead dad's suit, and now
Now, look, I
you
just
said
want-
sausages.
For listeners who weren't aware, the Prime Minister gave a speech where he asked for the return of the sausages.
Look, guys.
I think what he meant was hostages, but it came out as sausages.
I'll level with you.
Yes.
You might have figured it out already. I tend to try and be more honest on this podcast than I am in a lot of my other media appearances.
And we appreciate that.
I've been clinically depressed since the election. There's no getting away from that. One of the things I like to do in my head is to think about my favourite food products. You know, I'm coasting out there, guys. I'm
wheels.
clinging on by the skin of my teeth. And in here,
Skips.
if I just think about sausages, wagon wheel, skips, toad in the hole, mashed potato, it puts a smile back on my face. Like, look, I'm smiling now. I forget about
What are those?
the 22
chipsticks?
billion black hole chipsticks. Yes. And sometimes
what
it
chipsticks are.
comes out. I think I've been doing a pretty good job at not letting it out. I've done a lot of media appearances since the election,
Yeah.
and I've not said wagon wheels, chipsticks, mashed potato once. I've been thinking it all the time. It's all
Yeah.
I think about.
I mean, I
And
do
on
the
this
same
one
too.
occasion, yes, I said sausages. What do you think
Do
about?
you think Israeli sausages are a good type of sausages?
Not tried them. Do you reckon there's a business opportunity there, a sort of a
I
brand,
suspect
brand
they've got some.
ambassadorship?
Although they don't eat pork, do they? So,
Well, you could have a chicken sausage. I've had a chicken sausage.
Chicken sausage, yes.
Linda
maybe.
McCartney.
Sometimes you can have good things come out of these sort of gaffes. They become viral moments, and then actually it ends up being the start of a multi-billion-dollar campaign. Maybe that's how we fill the 22 billion black hole, is I sell Israeli chicken sausages.
Maybe
Yeah, that'd
that's
be
the
quite a
light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling good about it. This is like an idea, guys. We've had an idea. A vision. This is what people want. They've been saying, what's your vision for the country? And maybe it's this.
I mean, it does sound a little like Liz Truss's pork markets, to be honest. So it's not someone that you want to be too close to.
Yeah, you're right.
But Prime Minister, you got a great reception from the speech. You had a standing ovation.
Yes.
Not
Well, that's what
once,
happens when you pack a room with cronies.
Correct. Well, absolutely wonderful. I always approve of them.
Did you see my zinger with the protester? I did a pretty good zinger, I thought.
Yes, actually, I did think that was very good. I think with these protesters, you've just got to slap them down.
Yeah. And I
know?
said, he stood up and shouted about Gaza, and I said, he must have had a ticket to the 2019 conference.
That was very good.
Do you remember in 2019 when we catered to the left of the party and people sort of had a platform to stand against genocide and things? And that's so 2019. That's just not what we do anymore.
Do you know what? I did admire that.
Get with the programme, loser. I should have said that.
I also think it's very good how, as Labour, you haven't changed the police crime and sentencing bill of the Tories because, there might be some more... Exactly. And I think, although, there's not much space in prison, there are always room for protesters, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there must be some rooms in prisons that aren't being used. Like, I'm in Downing Street. We've got a lot of store cupboards, broom cupboards, toilets that don't really get used very often. There's got to be some of that in prisons as well. Just put a lock on that.
So Keir, I feel like... perhaps your short amount of time as Prime Minister has made an impact on you. It feels like maybe you've lost something, and maybe one of those things is your morals. I've got to say they seem a little tarnished.
Well, have you tried being Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Martin?
Well, no, obviously I haven't tried.
It's really hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I thought it would be easy as well. I used to gripe on the sidelines and go, oh, why don't you do something? Well, I'm in now and you can't. It's impossible.
Surely it's not impossible, it's just difficult. I think you knew it was going to be difficult. You said that you were a man who comes in and changes things, always underestimated. That's part of your tagline, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? You know that song by Coldplay, my favourite band who I love to go and see for free?
Yellow.
Isn't there one about nobody said it would be easy, nobody says it would be so hard. But then I'm listening to that.
You know about that
Let's go
other...
back to the start.
But what about that other song by Coldplay, I Will Try and Fix You? That's the one you should be listening to about the country. Is that a promise,
Martin?
No, I'm saying, listen.
I need to.
Yes, about the country. You need to fix it, the economy, and then also the world after that, I suppose.
Yeah, I
so that you can reach paradise.
That was actually very good, Harriet. That was,
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Well, I think that's the note to end the interview on, really.
If it's not on Parachutes or Russian Blood to the Head, I won't know it.
Oh, yeah, they are the better of the albums.
Well,
but...
classics.
Prime Minister, thank you for talking to us and best of luck with everything in the country.
I promise to try a bit harder. I've gone through a bit of a rough patch, but you're right. I'm gonna turn things around, guys. You've made me see the error of my ways.
Okay. We will send you a suit, though. Maybe a mug.
Yeah, talk to my people about the freebies.
Okay.
Entertainment news now. And did you know, Martin, that there are predatory men in the entertainment industry?
Well, yes, that's quite well known.
And yet it took me to ask you about it before you spoke up. Interesting. Anyway, with news of an exciting new TV format for men who made errors of judgment and are deeply sorry, so let's move on, we were joined by our entertainment reporter, Henny Ffairground. Let's take a listen. Hello, Henny. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I have some news.
That's great. That's what we like to hear. That's why we have you on the show. For when there is news, tell us your news.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like if you were walking along a white sandy beach and then happened upon Philip Schofield?
Oh, what? Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, conflicted. The beach sounds nice.
Yeah, the beach does sound nice.
Not sure how we're meant to feel about Phil at the moment.
Well, start feeling it because he is on a sandy beach right now because he is featuring in a brand new program where he is going to have to survive on a desert island for 10 days.
So
Wow.
is this some form of punishment? Is this a punitive beach, or is this a celebratory beach welcoming him back?
It is meant as a punishment, I want to say.
That's great. That's what reality TV is all about, I think.
Sure, strictly punishment. Bake Off, definitely punishment. Yeah, Sandy Beach. Tick, tick, tick.
For ages, I've been trying to get Running Man as a concept working, where we sort of release convicts and then they have to run and escape death. But as yet, I haven't heard back about that idea.
Right.
I wonder if maybe they've introduced some of those elements to this programme that Philip Schofield is taking part in. I mean, maybe they will release some dogs at some point. Who knows?
Just to clarify, Philip Schofield, he had an inappropriate relationship with outside of his marriage with someone that was a bit too young, didn't he? That's what happened?
Yes, but producer Martin, it wasn't illegal. It wasn't illegal, and we've all had inappropriate relationships outside of our marriage that weren't illegal.
But he was cancelled in a way. I mean, and now he's back. So this is really what's going on here, isn't it? We've got someone who has uncancelled themselves. And Henny, do you feel that perhaps this will open a floodgate to other cancelled celebrities taking themselves on holidays, filming themselves on beaches, and hoping to get back into the media landscape?
I mean, what is cancellation? How do you define being cancelled? Because, you know, I once cancelled an order I made on Amazon for a new pedal bin, but it was too late to be cancelled. So it arrived regardless, and I had no need for it. And then I had to go through the rigmarole of sending it back. Was that a cancellation? Who knows?
I mean, it all depends on whether you got maybe a voucher or some cash back from it. I think if you got a voucher, then probably it was cancelled. But otherwise, no, you had to deal with those consequences.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. So I think Philip Schofield is very much the pedal bin of the entertainment industry.
Right. But it also, I mean, it should be said, he's not having any food or water on this island. He has to get it all himself, presumably while the film crew are all sitting there eating, I don't know, coconuts.
Or what's-its.
And monkeys.
I don't think they're eating monkeys.
And what's-its.
They wouldn't be.
Well, producer Martin, that is what happens on islands.
I'm not sure.
You eat the monkeys. You may not want to, but you do.
I don't think anywhere.
You eat the monkeys and you eat eyeball soup. This is what happens.
Okay.
I mean, I've personally been to Anglesey. It's definitely what happens.
Well, I was wondering if perhaps Harriet confused island life with that of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, yes.
Monkey brains.
Sorry.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Very similar. Very similar.
We're also assuming that there will be a camera crew as well. That wasn't specified in the press release.
Oh, okay. Right.
So there's a chance this could have been a live performance.
Dumping him in an island and see what happens. Can I just say, this could be great for Philip because he could get on that island, make friends with a football, name him Wilson, and that's not even legal in a sort of slightly iffy way. That's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a relationship we can all get on board with. Redeemed through the power of love.
I think, Harriet, what you've done there is you've confused this TV show with actually the plot of Castaway with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks and his Wilson. Yeah.
That's an easy mistake to make because it is the same name.
It's the same name, and both of them have sand in it. So it's it's understandable in a way.
Okay.
The discussion around this is predominantly to do with redemption and whether he deserves to try and redeem himself. And having been in this industry for such a long time, I've come across Philip Schofield in the past. He does have some redeeming qualities. We shouldn't forget about the time that he helped Judy Finnegan cover up her breasts during that awards show.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
He's a gentleman. And, oh, no, sorry, I'm thinking of John Leslie.
Right. Well,
maybe could John Leslie also go on an island? We put him on an island.
Maybe he's already on an island and there are no cameramen there either. So who would know?
That's the problem, isn't it? I think you've got to make sure if you get put on one of these islands and you're trying to be uncancelled that you've got a camera crew with you. Otherwise, you're just Lord of the Fly.
It really depends on the island. I mean, if you wind up on Epstein's Island with the camera crew, no one's going to look good there. Although perhaps it would have helped nail down the perpetrators a lot quicker. There are actually a lot of calls.
And also Epstein's Island. I mean, that's quite scary because you've got all those little schoolboys attacking each other and going, piggy. And committing murder
Harriet,
on a hill.
What's happened there is you've confused Jeffrey Epstein's Island with Lord of the Flies. I think that's what's
right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Understandable.
Right,
sorry. Yeah, both have sand again. I think it's the sand that's bringing in the confusion here.
It is. This is a confusing feature for me. Henny, what do you think we should do with all these cancelled celebrities? Where should we put them?
If an island can't contain all these men, I'm wondering if maybe instead of having them on something, that maybe they should be in something. Maybe we should be thinking about digging down into the earth rather than
silo.
Yes.
And would that be with a camera crew still?
With a camera crew, although I guess the deeper you go, the hotter it gets, and it might just melt the lens. So maybe no cameras again. Maybe.
I think maybe a good way to uncancel a lot of these men is if they did a journey to the centre of the earth. Oh. That I could get on board with, and I think that I could be quite forgiving of, especially if they fought some dinosaurs and just. I think to me that might win the public over. I'm just saying.
Well, it sounds exciting. There's certainly demand for that, and we'd know where they are. Then I suppose it's easier to keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
If they're all in the hole.
Henny, it's been great talking to you. Before we go, what are your personal feelings about this topic? You're Welsh. That's always a different viewpoint of things, isn't it?
It is, because all our men are also awful. So yes, I do have opinions. My thing with Philip Schofield, and maybe as a lasting thought, I think we should try and maybe support him in this, just because, none of us know where we might end up in a few years' time based on some very, not inappropriate endeavours.
Yes.
So let's just maybe just support him, thou who cast the first stone, etc. And also, I think with Philip, he does still have a legacy possibly to pass on to the next generation. I mean, let's not forget, he was the tallest ever presenter that Blue Peter has ever had.
Wow. That's wonderful.
So, that's something that should be. Oh, sorry, no, that was John Leslie again. Sorry.
Easy mistake to make.
Sorry. Yeah, but that is still my lasting thoughts on this.
I think it's still a good point. Well, listen, Henny, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for your wonderful entertainment news. If you're
finding the adverts in the show annoying and like the idea of supporting us directly, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/noncensored, where not only will you get the show without adverts, you'll also get the episodes before everyone else, as well as videos of all our segments and exclusive bonus podcasts. But, and apparently I have to spell this out, no feet pics. Finally, stand-up comedy. I don't really like it myself. It's just a load of lefties ranting about Thatcher, isn't it, Martin?
I think that's probably a little bit out of date, Harriet, given that Thatcher left office in 1990 and died in 2013. When did you last go to a comedy club?
I have never been to a comedy club, Martin. I thought I made that clear.
Well, times have changed. The comedy scene is actually really exciting and vibrant, and there's loads of stuff out there to suit every taste. I'm looking forward to Jos Norris doing his show, You Wait, Time Passes, at the Pleasance Theatre in London on the 10th and 11th of October, for example. But even if you don't go to clubs, there's some very funny stuff online. Like, there's this woman, and she pretends to be
a comedian's online now. How dreadful. Anyway, there's been a bit of a story in the news recently about comedy clubs not booking women. So we thought we'd ask our diversity correspondent, Eshaan Akbar, who is apparently a comedian as well, to weigh in with an edition of Apology Watch.
I'm so not sorry that it's made me feel sorry for the not apology I'm sorry about. So I'm sorry not sorry that the not nature of the sorry isn't sorry enough, or not.
Hello, Eshaan Akbar. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well indeed, thank you. Although it has started raining, but whenever I speak to you, it feels sunny.
Oh, Eshaan.
He's such a charmer.
So nice. That is so... I do have a sunny presence. It has been said.
You have
It
quite
has
the
been
sunny
said.
disposition. This is true. This is true.
And
Yes.
you also smell quite a lot of sun cream, don't you, Harriet?
Well,
you often smell of sun cream.
Well, that's because, Producer Martin, it's very
of your sunny
important.
disposition, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
The
And
two
it's
go hand
good
in
for
hand.
the skin. Good for the skin.
Yes, it
I
is
don't
good
think
for
we
the skin.
talk about it enough, really. Number one thing you can do is wear sunscreen.
Yeah,
Yes. Even on days like this, overcast ones.
still got to do it.
Whack it on.
Yeah.
Factor 50.
Yeah. Okay.
Every day. Maybe not for you, Eshaan, but otherwise, every day.
Oh, just to clear up, people from non-white backgrounds should also wear sunscreen because sun radiation affects all communities.
Okay, I don't know about the sun radiation thing. That sounds a bit woo-wah to me. Anyway, Eshaan, you're here with our Apology Watch. What did you have for us today?
Well, yes, I've got a very good apology watch for you this week. So you may have seen this week, comedian Lucy Beaumont had written an article, or I'd say had commented on social media, that there aren't enough women in comedy. She highlighted a number of comedy clubs, such as the Beer Keller, Manchester, the Comedy Store in London, the Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool, and highlighted that they had no women on the lineup. Now, understandably, this caused a bit of furore, with many comedy clubs saying, hold on a minute, this is a representational issue, we don't get enough female comedy applicants. Some people saying this is a stylistic problem. We don't get enough women who can do it on a rowdy Friday night in Liverpool. But the Hot Water Comedy Club, and this is the apology watch that I'm rating, they went on record and set up a comedy night just for women monthly on a Thursday called Crushing.
Called Crushing?
Crushing.
Who are they crushing? The humour? That may not have been funny because as a woman, I don't know how to do them.
Yes.
I think they're just doing
Yes,
it really
yeah,
well,
Oh.
probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the opposite of crushing disappointment is like, Harriet, your radio show is crushing the ratings.
As in,
It's
it's doing well.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Okay, I've got you. Yeah.
So, in terms of rating this as an apology watch, this is 100% perfection. Because not only did they not apologize specifically, they physically set up a night just for women, by women, and they're going to get, 50 people in the audience?
People aren't going to come. I don't.
Wait, how big's the club?
450 seats?
Yeah, they're not going to get many people.
That's not very
because
good
the
at
thing
all.
is, I mean, women just aren't funny. We know this. We've talked about this before. That the truth is it goes back to biology. All right, and men are funny because they're attracting a mate, whereas women, we attract men through our floofs, not through our humour.
Right.
Sorry, Harriet, through your
floofs.
What was that?
Flute.
Right, that's how.
Are you saying flutes?
Floofs.
Are you saying flutes as in the instrument, flutes?
No, I'm saying floofs. That is how we
Floofs with an F.
floofs.
Could you just spell that?
Could you
FLOOFS. That is how we attract our men.
Your flutes.
And what? Wait, I'm sorry. This is
It's
is this something that we should know about?
Kitten.
It's biology. It's biology.
What? Wait, could you specify what exactly we're talking about? Because I mean, we hear a lot of things. You know, for a long time, I think many men would be forgiven for assuming that it was milkshakes that are used to bring the boys to the yard.
Right.
But now, I mean, floofs. I imagine you're talking about your womanly wiles.
Can I just say, are you both talking about breasts?
No, Eshaan, floofs. The thing is, you know, if you see a woman laughing at
Yeah.
another woman's joke,
Yes.
lesbians.
Oh.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Harriet. I think I'm going to have to disagree here now. And I hate to mansplain. Your experience is, of course, valid and correct. But there are many funny women out there.
Name
No.
three.
Yeah, name three.
Well,
Name three.
My mother, for one.
No.
Name people you aren't related to.
There's my dog, Lucy.
Name a woman.
She is always...
Name a woman.
That's a dog.
You're related to your dog.
You're struggling,
No,
Martin,
I'm not
because there are no
struggling.
funny
I'm
women.
struggling to narrow it down because the list is... Listen, there's a lot of them out there, okay?
Name one.
Sue Perkins.
Doesn't count. Lesbian.
What?
Told you.
That?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
It's different.
problematic. I think we're going to have a apology watch for that later on. Look, the point is, I think that realistically, in 2024, is it too much to ask to have a little proportional representation in our entertainment? Yes, absolutely. Make sure that everyone is represented. So why not? And you know what? It wouldn't be too hard to do. Let's make sure that each lineup has a little bit of everything. It's a beautiful, delicious buffet, you know.
So when you say proportional representation,
Oh, yes.
you're basically saying, depending on the percentage of the population that is a particular thing, we should have that.
Why not? Why not?
So 50% women in the population, 50% of the lineup should be women.
Get them on there. Yeah, sure. Why not? I say.
If the population is 15% not white, 15% not white,
Yeah. Yes.
would you just have 15% of the lineup be ethnic minority? Just 15%?
It seems a bit low, but I mean, I suppose if we're keeping to the proportional
Yeah.
side.
What percentage of the population do you think is LGBTQ plus?
I think
Well,
it's
you
slightly
have to
less
be
than that,
careful
isn't it?
because you've got bisexuals don't really count.
Oh, you don't get started. I think it's about.
Do you give them 2 spots? Do you give one person 2 spots because that's what they like?
I think it's about 7%. It might be lower. I'm just going to have to sort of bring up the information here.
Yeah, you see.
Can I Google how many people are gay?
Yes.
How many
people are gay in the world?
gay in the UK? According to Google. What? It's 3%.
3%.
Wow, that
Seems low.
seems
doesn't
like a
it?
lot of people are not disclosing.
So what would 3% of a lineup be, Eshaan?
That would be 6 minutes?
6 minutes of the lineup. So you could get someone on to do.
Or someone who
a
just
joke.
likes to say things like whoops a daisy.
Well, I don't know if that makes you. I don't know if that's a.
That feels like quite an LGBT thing to say.
Well, I mean, we all say whoops a daisy.
It's 6%, isn't it? It's 6%.
It's 6%, I suppose. Look, okay,
Yeah.
well, but perhaps it's not a perfect solution. But I mean, come on. If they were forced into the position where they didn't have enough women on the bill, which, as you suggest, is half the population, it's something that needs to be remedied.
Well, yes, but I mean, if half the population is boring and unfunny, but there's no responsibility on comedy clubs to just make sure that they're there for the sake of making sure they're there. You've got to be funny to be able to get into a comedy club. That is the truth. And the audience have to find you interesting and funny.
Yes.
And frankly, there aren't enough of them.
I think the problem is, though, is comedians, with you, at the exception of yourself, Eshaan, they're just not funny anymore.
Oh.
You know?
Are they not?
Why do you feel that way, Harriet?
It's all blah, 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 woke, 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 sniping at the sidelines.
So who were funny comedians? Did we ever have funny comedians?
Of course we had funny comedians.
Like who?
John Cleese.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. He's still doing.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Right. Well, good for him. Good for him.
Anyone else? What was funny?
He was the main one.
Anyone else?
Probably.
Who was funny? Yes, he was the main one, and Blackadder.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
I mean-
So I feel like that's a very specific. They weren't really stand-up comedians, were they? You
More
couldn't.
sort of
We're talking about stand-up comedy.
I
here.
don't understand. It sounds very
Yeah.
unnecessary.
weavers of narrative.
I have to say though, overall, as an apology goes, this is perfect. They set up a night. They didn't apologize. You don't apologize. You just do. I like a doer, not a sayer. Yeah, do the thing. Don't just apologize for the sake of it. And now they've got a monthly comedy night with some 5 to 6 female comedians, and that's the only time they'll ever perform there as well.
Great. Well, I think we say all's well that ends well, apart from those poor comedy clubs who are going to be losing a lot of money on their women-only nights. Thank you so much, Eshaan, for your apology watch.
My pleasure.
Well, that's it for now. We'll be back next week. So in the meantime, like, subscribe, tell your friends, follow the Out of Context Non-Censored Blue Sky account, and remember that there's loads of stuff on our Patreon at patreon.com/noncensored. So if you enjoy the show, please do support us if you can. With thanks to Rosie Holt, Brendan Murphy, Eshaan Akbar, Jos Norris, Eslit Sears, and Ed Morrish. I'm Harriet Langley-Swindon, and we'll be back next week with more Non-Censored.